All right, I just want to make sure everybody knows how to find their groups. From now on, the groups are going to be smaller. It's not going to be the entire class. And for the triage stories and the medical terminology stories, you'll be in pairs. And for the discussion groups, you'll be in groups of 2 or 3, depending on who's still in the class and who's not. So the way that you can find your people is you can either, one, go to the assignment that you're working on. I'll pick chapter 4, the integumentary system, and you can just click here, and then there's your classmates' names, and you'll find your name somewhere in here, and that way you know which group that you're in, right? The other way to do it is to go to everyone, and you can find your name, and I'm going to be Monica, and I'm going to click on Monica's face. What a pretty picture. And there it tells you every single group that you're in for the rest of the semester. Okay? Now let's go back to looking at the, oh, my eyes are going nuts with this. Okay, let's do the integumentary system. So the description and rubric for the medical terminology stories is you're going to be in groups of 2, sometimes 3. You need to use 3 terminology words pertaining to the chapter. So remember, it has to be about, for this month, or this week, it'll have to be about the skin, right? The integumentary system. You need to write a paragraph using 3 words. Somebody makes up a first paragraph and with 3 words in it about the integumentary system. It can be a story, it can be something that you learned, and then the second person adds on to that first paragraph to make sort of a 2-paragraph story using another different 3 words that you learned from that chapter. So you're making kind of one of those chain stories where one person is making up something and then the other person finishes the story. Okay, so make sure that you're using 3 words. 3 words, or 1 word repeated 3 times does not make 3 words. And 1 word as an adjective, a noun, and an adverb also does not make 3 words. I want 3 different words that you learned in the chapter, and there should be no problem finding 3 words. Okay, so that's how you do it, and let's go back to the modules and see if I can look in the student mode. What do you guys see? Okay, that just makes my eyes go nuts. Chapter 4, terminology, right? So here's what you have to do, and then what you're doing is when you go to the bottom, you press reply. And then the first person starts its post. Like, I had an allergic, maybe if I could spell, dermatitis that was erythematous and surrounded by melanocytes, which makes no sense, but it's 3 words out of your stuff. I found out that the diamond gold bracelet my partner gave me was fake. I was having a pruritic reaction to the nickel in the jewelry. Okay, so that's 3, and that's 3 sentences. And then the next person who wants to post, so I'm going to post that, right? Then the next person, whoever is in here with me, can either reply up here and say something like, then the melanocytes, I'm going to make up gibberish because this doesn't make any sense, turned white, my skin began to slough off from the eczema caused by the dermatitis. And when the white scales formed over the rash, I was diagnosed with psoriasis. So I didn't have an allergic reaction to the costume jewelry. Okay, so that's pretty much it. It's not that hard. Have fun with it, and then just post, right? So the first post, somebody should post by 11:59, so that your partner has a chance to respond. I think it was Michaela or Rami or David or Jeanette was saying on Pronto that a good way of you guys connecting, which we have not had in semesters before, was using Pronto, because it seems to be pretty easy, but then everybody can see what you're doing. So it might just be that you can use the chat format. It can be that you exchange information, however you want to do it, but just connect and make sure that you are doing your part, because honestly, part of being in an online class is having to do group assignments, as painful as it may be for some people or as fun as it may be for some people. But we do not have to make it be stressful for ourselves and others by being late on our posts and not participating. Okay, so I hope that helps you get started this week.